Golden state of California, which is the 5th largest economy in the world. Did you know that? Which means we will soon have dozens of cannabis cafes, just like they have in Amsterdam.
Imagine a world where cannabis cafes are as common as coffee shops. California's economy is thriving to the point where it rivals Japan's. And yet, amid all this, our former president believes he can debate his way out of a 165-page mountain of legal evidence. Welcome to Jimmy Kimmel's latest roast of Donald Trump, where reality truly is stranger than fiction, and the laughs are not just guaranteed, they're inevitable. If you thought Trump's infamous imaginary texts were bad, buckle up, because his latest rally performance takes things to a whole new level of absurdity. What could possibly go wrong when Grumpy Trumpy is forced to face the crowd without the safety net of his trusty teleprompter or digital crutch? Spoiler alert, everything. Now, picture this Trump at a Michigan rally, pacing the stage, his face growing redder as he rants about his favorite punching bags, Democrats, the media, windmills, and just about anyone else who dares to disagree with him. The crowd is a mix of die-hard supporters and confused onlookers, as Trump stumbles from one incoherent thought to another, his signature hand gestures growing more frantic by the minute. Without the teleprompter to guide him, he launches into a tirade that feels more like a stream of consciousness monologue than a political speech. He starts by railing against fake news, and quickly pivots to questioning the existence of climate change, then veers off to complain about electric cars before somehow landing on a conspiracy theory involving his favorite villain, Hillary Clinton. As he scrambles to string together a coherent argument, the audience's reactions range from applause to uncomfortable silence. But Trump doesn't seem to notice or care. His face lights up as he drops another of his classic catchphrases, believing he's on fire when in reality he's drowning in his own chaotic rhetoric. Just when you think it can't get more bizarre, Trump decides to take on the rigged justice system, waving off the stacks of evidence in his pending cases as if they were mere inconveniences. You know, it's just 165 pages, folks. I can get through it, no problem. He brags, as though sheer bravado alone can dissolve the criminal charges looming over him. The crowd's reaction is mixed, with some cheering in blind faith while others exchange bewildered glances. The rally reaches its crescendo when Trump, having run out of his usual material, begins riffing on the idea of himself as the ultimate underdog, a man constantly wronged by the system but destined for greatness. "I'm like the phoenix, folks. I rise from the ashes. No one's ever seen a comeback like this," he shouts, as the audience's enthusiasm wanes. At this point, even some of his most devoted fans seem to be wondering just how many more times he can recycle the same narrative. And as always, Jimmy Kimmel is there to catch every baffling, hilarious moment, delivering his signature brand of cutting humor. Who needs late-night comedy writers when Trump does all the work for us? Kimmel quips, before diving into a satirical reenactment of the rally's most surreal moments. Debating your way out of 165 pages of evidence? Sure, that's like me debating my way out of a bad monologue, except at least I have jokes. In the end, Kimmel sums it up best. It's a reality show where the script writes itself, but the punchline is always the same Trump. The media, immigrants, and windmills, yes folks, our favorite orange crusader is still waging war against those giant fan blades. But here's where it gets juicy. During his latest rally, Trump's trusty teleprompter decided to take an unplanned coffee break mid-speech, leaving the former president to fend for himself. Now, we all know Trump isn't exactly known for his quick wit or coherent off-the-cuff remarks, so when his electronic brain short-circuited, it was like watching a toddler try to recite Shakespeare. He mumbled something along the lines of, "Usually I don't talk about it. Just keep going. Just keep going. Yeah, Donnie, we can tell when you're winging it." It's like watching a slow-motion car crash. You can't look away, but you know it's headed straight for disaster. The kicker? While Republicans have been clutching their pearls over Biden's age, the man is 80. After all, they seem to have no problem with Trump, who's just 3 years younger at 77. It's as if they've discovered the fountain of youth, but it only works for guys with bad spray tans. I guess MAGA now stands for Make Aging Great Again. And speaking of aging, let's talk about Trump's, well, unique way of speaking. You know, that signature style where he slurs his words, repeats stories, and generally sounds like your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving. Yeah, that one. Critics are starting to wonder if just maybe there's something going on upstairs. But hey, who needs medical records when you've got person, woman, man, camera, TV? Trump's grasp of cognitive tests is legendary, or so he tells us. While his bumbling speeches are entertaining, the real drama these days seems to be happening at home. Word has it, There's a secret feminist in the Trump household, and it's causing quite the stir. Could it be Melania finally speaking out? Or maybe Ivanka quietly distancing herself from her father's legacy? Either way, it looks like the Trump clan may have more cracks beneath the surface than they're letting on. That's right, folks, Melania Trump has thrown us all a curveball by breaking ranks and coming out as pro-choice. Talk about a plot twist. You might be thinking, wait, isn't this the same Melania who stood by silently while her husband pushed his anti-abortion agenda? Well, apparently she's found her voice, but in the most Melania way possible during a book promotion. Because let's be honest, nothing says I care about women's rights like waiting until you've got something to sell before speaking up. In her upcoming book, Melania claims that there is no room for compromise when it comes to the essential right of choice that all women should possess. Wow, Melania, tell us how you really feel. It's like she's been storing up all these progressive views for years, just waiting for the right moment to drop them conveniently tucked away in a book that Donald probably won't even bother to read. You've got to admire the strategy, though. It's as if she found the perfect loophole in the Trump family contract, getting to express her views without having to deal with Donald's inevitable meltdown on Truth Social. It's the political equivalent of leaving a passive-aggressive note on the fridge, only this time the note is in hardcover. Meanwhile, let's not forget about the other circus act in town, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. This guy is like the political world's answer to a fever dream. He's got it all: multiple affairs, a bizarre crusade against vaccines, and a truly strange obsession with roadkill. And yet somehow he's still considered a dreamboat by a certain segment of the population. I guess in today's world of politics, being eccentric is the new sexy. I mean, think about it. Between his roadkill collection, conspiracy theories about brain parasites, and his quest to make polio great again, RFK Jr. is the political equivalent of a roller coaster that's off the rails. He's managed to make anti-vax rhetoric sound like a quirky personal brand, and somehow, despite all the bizarre baggage, there are people out there who think, yeah, that's my guy. In a world where Trump is still railing against windmills and Melania is making her feminist debut, RFK Jr. fits right in, because in today's political landscape, reality truly is stranger than fiction. RFK Jr. is basically the poster child for the most outlandish candidate imaginable. He and Trump seem to be locked in a bizarre contest to outdo each other in sheer weirdness, and frankly, it's too close to call. You've got to wonder what's next in this political fever dream. Will Mitch McConnell reveal he's been moonlighting as a drag queen? Will AOC secretly turn out to be a die-hard MAGA fan? At this point, nothing would surprise me anymore. You know how some people see the glass as half empty? Well, Trump looks at America and sees a flaming dumpster fire. According to him, the country has descended into chaos, but while he's out there ranting about a failed nation, regular folks are more worried about something far more pressing, like toilet paper shortages. What's the real state of the union? Crisis or comedy? Grumpy Trumpy is back at it again, painting a picture of America so bleak, you'd think we were living in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. To hear Trump tell it, we're not just struggling with crime and despair, we're living in a dirty, crime-ridden death trap. Wow, Donnie, tell us how you really feel, but wait, it gets better. He's not just calling the country a failed state, he's got to take a swing at our infrastructure too. Apparently our highways are crumbling, garbage is piling up to disgusting levels, and the nation is falling apart before our eyes. It's almost like Trump's been binge-watching Mad Max movies and thinks that's what America looks like now. But the piece de resistance. Trump's latest target isn't just crime or windmills, it's bacon. Yep, you heard that right. In Trump's alternate universe, bacon prices have supposedly skyrocketed, grocery stores are running out of food, and gasp, you can't even order bacon anymore. Honestly, Donnie, who hurt you? Did a piece of bacon steal your prom date or something? But here's where it gets really interesting. While Trump's busy painting his doomsday scenario, what are regular Americans panicking about? Toilet paper. Yep, during a recent dock worker strike, people lost their minds and started hoarding toilet paper like it was the last roll on Earth. Never mind that experts said there wouldn't actually be a shortage, people were determined to stock up like they were preparing for the apocalypse. Meanwhile, most of our toilet paper is made right here in the US. So the whole panic buying spree was totally unnecessary. But hey, I guess when you're staring down the barrel of a Trump-style apocalypse, you want to make sure you can wipe in comfort, right? It feels like we're living in two different Americas. In Trump's version, we're all holed up in our crumbling homes, fighting over the last slice of bacon. In reality, we're just hoarding toilet paper for no reason. I'm not sure which version is more ridiculous. But the truth is, while Trump's trying to convince everyone that the sky is falling, the actual state of affairs is well pretty normal. The economy's chugging along, people are living their lives, and last time I checked, there wasn't a bacon shortage at my grocery store.